Hello, everyone. This is Mary Kurek with Frontrunners Innovate. And you know, we love to bring to you resources as well as people who are doing big works, big impact in the world. And today we have a wonderful resource out of India. And this is Vandana Tolani, and she is the founder and CEO of Convanto. And Convanto works with businesses and startups and, from the standpoint of investments, and gets businesses up and rolling and doing what they do best, which we hope is impact work. And also, we're going to glean from her, while we have her time here, some tips and information that will be useful for not only the startups, but for people who are also investing in these types of startups. So Vandana, thank you for being with us, and we appreciate the time. And wanted to start with your background a little bit. So share a little bit about what brought you into this line of work.
First of all, thank you, Mary, for having me here. It's a great pleasure. And I'm very grateful to you to have me here on your panel today. I was in Singapore and Jakarta for 15 years in investment banking. I had my own family office fund there. Mm-hmm. And this is my 7th year back in India. I did some investments, then I went back to advisory. Currently I'm connected with 300 investors globally, which are the MDs of the fund, and we pick up global deals. We are a sector agnostic investment bank, but we don't do liquor, real estate, and solar deals. We do $1 million to $25 million in ticket size. Now, what got me to entrepreneurship was I never wanted to be boxed in with anything, and normally it's just not in me to get boxed in, and it would make me really uncomfortable not to be myself and to work under somebody. So I picked up entrepreneurship. It was not an easy journey, but perseverance, persistence, and consistency makes one reach a certain level where I am today. So that's a short intro about myself.
That's perfect. I love your background because it brought you exactly to where you need to be and what you're doing. So, so tell us a little bit more, paint us a picture of the types of people that would come to you for your services. And, maybe you even have, without telling us the name of a particular client, give us a scenario of, that person and what they're looking for.
We get a lot of fintech deals, agri-tech, edu-tech, health tech, food tech, deep tech. These are the different kind of deals, AI, IoT, robotics. Basically, we do a lot of tech deals. We do a lot of fashion tech also. These are the kind of people that reach out to us. From startups, pre-revenue stage, to Series A to Series B, all kinds of companies we cater to. We do pick up, we see fund deals also. So we have 2-3 mandates of those also. Those are big mandates. Funds want investments. Mm-hmm. And services that we provide are pitch deck making, financial modeling, fundraising. These are the main services. Apart from this, we do provide mentoring, advisory, business consulting, and all our services are chargeable basis. We take upfront fees, we take success fees. For pitch deck also, we run a proper business.
That's great. I think in what I do is, because I do business development in innovative spaces as sort of the primary focus of my business. And one of the things that I hear from startups a lot is how many times that they have put upfront fees into somebody who was a finder, if you will, and it didn't go well. So why wouldn't it go well? I mean, you were talking about doing business the proper way. So I think what innovators and startups need to know as they're looking for funds, if they're pre-rev or they're looking for, maybe they've bootstrapped to a certain level and then they're ready to move on and get another level of funding. what makes it not work well, you know, in a situation like that, and what would make it work better if they were to have to pay a fee up front? What could be the assurances there that that's going to work out well for them?
Yeah, very good question. So the thing is that the upfront fees that we take, we adjust it in the success. Now, why do we take that fees? We cannot bear the logistic charges from our pocket. We do a service to them for about 3 months. Now, we are using our time, energy, efforts, resources. 95% of the time, the deal goes through our platform. Now, why does a deal fail? A deal fails because in spite of giving the founders the DD list and asking them to prepare their DD documents, when they get a term sheet and their documents go for DD, which is due diligence, somewhere there they fail. On informing them to correct a few documents where they are failing, still if they don't correct it after getting the term sheets, that's when they badly fail. So this is the kind of things that have happened. And sometimes it takes very long for the funds to hit accounts. There are several laws. During COVID, several laws came up, anti-money laundering laws, which, many companies got affected by those. So these, when the fund takes really long to hit the accounts, then there is a clash between the investor and founder. That's when a deal fails. If there are too many investors in a deal, then the fight goes on which one wants to be the lead investor. Hence, a deal also fails. To take the upfront fees keeps the founder and the investment banker serious. It is otherwise the founders take the investment bankers for granted. They feel they are getting 3 months of free service. So, they won't come on calls. I had a few instances where founders are taking calls from airports, and
been there. I understand.
Yeah. So it's these are $300 million funds.
Yeah.
They don't come on calls easily. And it's we are setting up the call for the people to get investments. We can't take it lightly. One client wrote on mail, I'm going to the bus stop to drop my kids. Now, I'll tell you, I'm a mother. I also do all these things, but we can't give these excuses professionally. It won't be accepted. On a human level, we understand, but on a professional level, we don't understand.
Agreed.
Deals also fail because after receiving investments, founders burn the money for buying cars. One of the founders used it for treating cancer. So so I'll tell you, I have a deal which has gone through, and the person stays like 15 kilometers from my house and owes me money. But, because that time I did it on success, I did not take upfront fees. He's not ready to give me my success fees. So, I'm just giving you an example that hence the upfront fees. Now, if you are, look at it, if you're taking upfront fees, you divide it by 3 months, it's hardly anything. If the deal goes on and on for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, that entire upfront fees is going in for the entire it's for the 8 months that you're getting that small amount. So it doesn't cover up the costs that we are bearing. We make a lot of international calls. We do running around. So, sometimes we do have to pay to the fund managers to execute the work fast. So all these things are cost effective. So hence the upfront fees is there. Now we are connected directly with the MDs of the funds. So they respond to us.
Okay.
But the people who pick up deals on success, they do cold calling. We don't do cold calling. Hence, that's a difference between us, which is a boutique bank, which is thoroughly professional, and a different investment banker, which runs in a different way. So these are my reasons. I hope I've clarified the question.
Very well said. Something you said, though, I picked up on that I think might be important to bring out. You said that you adjust the success fee to accommodate the upfront fee.
We do that.
So
say
in other words,
one,
go ahead. Yeah. Go
Sorry
ahead.
to interrupt you.
No.
So say for instance, the $1 million goes into your account. Say we take a 3% of success. Whatever upfront fees we took from you, we minus it from that and keep the rest.
Okay, gotcha. So at some point they're getting it back when you have success.
Yeah.
And rolls right in. Okay, so that's an interesting model I haven't seen before. So this is great. So you are looking at innovations around the world. You got all these people coming to you. How do you pick the ones that you think you could work with? Tell me your criteria or what you look at as going, when somebody comes to you, I can work with this. I think we can do something really substantial with this one. What is your criteria?
Yeah, we look at the founder's background. We do a little bit of due diligence on their LinkedIn profiles, etc. in our own way. We see if the company has revenue, if it is self-funded, at what stage they are. Also, is it a disruptive technology that they are bringing on the table? What is the problem that they are solving? Since we are so nicely connected with the fund guys, we call them and we ask them, unofficially that, look, I've got this. And then they say, yeah, you can pick it up. So then we pick up those deals.
Okay, very good. That's fantastic to know. Is there anything that you feel like as innovators would approach you, what they should have handy, what they should be ready to say to you or give to you?
It's very important to have a pitch deck made by a professional before they reach out to me, and what is their ask and what is it they are looking for. Some people just want to speak like that and waste time. So I think it's important to have a video pitch deck. It is important to have a pitch deck. It is important to have a financial model and valuation. If they don't have these, we can make these for them, but they should at least share their company profile. What is their startup doing?
Yeah.
And they should share at least their LinkedIn profile. A few days back, a gentleman reached out to me, but his LinkedIn profile was deactivated by LinkedIn. So I said, look, your LinkedIn profile is not there. So then he gave some lame excuse and I said, look, I'm not going to do your deal. That's it. So the criteria is gone. So if the website is not functioning, these small basic things, and we have our ways to check, especially in India, we could check across cities. We have people around. In some of the other countries, we have people to check, look, this deal has come from your place. Could you check this person? And they check it out.
Yeah.
And of course, Google. If you Google my name, there's a lot of content of all the 150 talks that I gave.
That's good. I tell people a lot, I don't look for funds, but I will pass them forward to somebody else who does. But I always tell them, prepare yourself in advance. Make sure that your LinkedIn profile is the way you'd want an investor to see it. Don't just assume they won't Google you. They will absolutely Google you. And so I tell them to make sure the link from LinkedIn goes to their website. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that not happen right. It's an old link, it's an old email address, it's something that's not updated. Or just look over your own material with a fine-tooth comb and give it to someone else to look at it first. I was looking at a pitch deck this week, as a matter of fact, where the lead person's name was misspelled. So, I mean, when you're talking about, like you said, $300 million, or even if it's $1 million, I don't care if it's even under $1 million, you want to present yourself in the best light that you can, because you're looking for something that you don't have and somebody else does. So you really have to do that.
No, actually, I was saying that fund was a $300 million fund, and the founder was taking the call from the airport. That's it.
You have to present yourself like you care, and that's on paper as well as in person, for sure. But definitely you looking at all those things before you come forward. You mentioned the valuation. You mentioned a professionally done pitch deck. I've seen some really sorry ones in the past because all of them will send them to me in advance. I ask for it if I don't know the company. And so I do take a look at those. And, you know, having written and published a book and had the editor that ruled with an iron hand over me, I tend to look at I tend to see things some people wouldn't see. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but at least I do know that I look at other people's work with a little bit of different eye on those things. So definitely that. Is there anything you would share with potential investors? You know, you came from a family office background a bit. So what would you share with investors looking to invest in new technologies that maybe they're unfamiliar with, but they just know that there's money attached to those technologies?
So I just call them and I say, hey, you know, or I drop a WhatsApp voice message. Hey, you know, this company has come in. It's really good. Have a deep dive into it, and I'm sending you it over the mail. And then they just replied like, okay, we'll look at it. It's as simple as that.
Is there anything in particular that they need to be looking at? I mean, when they come, when you're working with them, they know you've done the due diligence, but in general, what should they be looking at now? Are there any trends or anything right now that are particularly hot?
Yeah, edutech, you know, platforms like these, Zoom, AirMeet, where we have virtual meetings. You know, there are new platforms coming in, StreamYard. I went on some other new platform, I forgot the name. These kind of things, you know, something disruptive in health technology, which is catering to old people, and also creating an impact, you know, like, you know, we had lots of, you know, lost lives, you know, the past few months. So if something disruptive was created beforehand, maybe we could have saved lives. So I think those kind of things work well. AI definitely, SaaS, software as a service provider, IoT, robotics, you know, these agri-tech, they keep looking for fintech. These are the things which investors keep looking for, and these are hotcakes, and they go through and you know, they multiply and things work well in these sectors. So I mean, I get a bunch of all these only all the time, but we pick the good ones, which are more like, you know, unique and a disruptive model, creating something bigger like drones, all kinds of these kind of technologies we look into. Anything which is cloud kitchen, which is catering, helping the women to get, you know, financial independence,
Yes.
the ones that are housewives, things like that we look into.
Would there be anything that you would tell a startup that isn't revenue generating yet, that maybe isn't a series of fundraising, that they're ready to go to market, or they're ready to get into manufacturing for their product or service, that maybe they don't have a tremendous amount of money to lay down on the table as a fee? Is there anything that you could tell them that would get them ready for somebody like you?
Well, they should focus on getting their pitch deck ready properly, have a private limited company, have 3 co-founders complementing each other. You know, one could be good in operations, one could be good in marketing, the other one could be in finance. Having a CFO and advisor would really do well.
Ooh, okay.
That's really important, because if you don't know how to manage the money, they can actually manage the money very well for you guys. It's very important and basic thing one should have. Having a proper investment banker that has proper relationships with the funds is very important to have. And having a mentor that you could just show your business plan to and say, look, I have this thing in mind, and who will guide you properly as to, you know, whether you should take it forward or no. I think these things, basics, are really important. Having your website in order, you know, having that drive,
Yes.
you know, and having the mindset to pivot and being grounded and humble is very, very important, that we look into founders. And, you know, they should be prepared with these things.
Perfect. Well, great information, Vandana. Thank you so much. And this is Vandana Tolani from Convanto out of India. And so you now have some great information from someone who knows about investments and has a great background with it. So thank you so much. I appreciate this for our investor series. So if you want more information on her and her company, we will drop the link in frontrunnersinnovate.com, which is where you're seeing this interview. You also could be seeing this on another platform such as YouTube. And if so, we'll have her website link there as well. So thank you very much, and hope to see how things are coming along with you in the coming year. Vandana, we'll keep in touch. Thanks.
Thank you. Please do keep in touch. Bye-bye.